that's a great thing. That's so much fun just to be able to present the broadness of our songs, to be able to do that. That's just great. That's so much fun, and not to play the same songs over and over again for 10 years.
Korbinian, thank you so much for your time today. As we're talking, we are less than 2 weeks away from a new Ad Infinitum release, although I kind of feel we're never more than 2 weeks away from an Ad Infinitum release. But let's stay serious for a second. How are you feeling? Because I know that obviously, you know, this is the culmination of a long process. You're almost there. You seem pretty chill, but yeah, you've been through this release cycle now a few times with the band. But nevertheless, a bit of a new start for the band, and we'll go back to that in just a second. But how do you feel?
Well, thank you for having me. I feel great, actually. It's been a great day, like lots of family stuff going on, but good family stuff. So I'm pretty relaxed. Earlier did some preparation stuff for the upcoming tour with Camelot. You know, bureaucracy. It sucks, but it needs to be done.
It needs to be done.
Yeah. We're going to the UK in the end of this run, and UK is not part of European Union anymore, so you need special papers and whatnot. Yeah, so that all has to be done with. So I did a little bit of that today, and yeah, it's a good day, and I'm feeling very excited about the release. Actually, we got a cut of the video for the upcoming single. That is the album, like that comes together with the album.
The focus track. Yeah.
Yes, the focus track, exactly. We got a cut of this yesterday, and I was driving with my car and I just stopped. Okay, I need to watch this now. It's great. It's really cool. We gave the director like minimal corrections, and I think we're there. Like, this is very cool. I'm so excited about this new song. That is the focus track. And have you heard this?
Yeah, I've heard the whole album. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I think it will be a bang. And we actually plan to have this song as the opening track for the live show.
Okay, good. Well, so that makes a statement, and maybe let's just go straight into that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that we can talk about you know, everything surrounding it, but let's dive straight into the nitty-gritty of the album. You know, the fans have seen, you know, some singles, some videos, and so they know that there's, you know, the evolution continues with Ad Infinitum. And every album, it kind of seems that what started as a more stereotypical, let's call it dark symphonic metal band, every album the band gets a little bit more comfortable to let go of a few things, of a few expectations maybe, and to embrace a few other things. And then we come to the point where the band has really nothing to do anymore with stereotypical symphonic metal at this point. This is kind of like a new start for the band. There's also new stories going on. We kind of, you know, leave the chapters 1, 2, 3 behind us now. Starting the show with a new song like that, that's also making a bit of a statement, like, hey, this is the new us. Is that the right way of, you know?
That's exactly how it is. Yes. Like we wanted to start something new. Like you say, it has been a progression, like from chapter 1, which is, like you say, stereotypically symphonic metal, and it evolved into what it is now. And also, like, we decided to end this trilogy of chapter 1, 2, and 3, and we started a new trilogy. And also we want to make it completely different, because you can write the same album over and over for 20 years. That's boring. We don't want to do that. We want to reinvent ourselves. We want to find ourselves and become like better songwriters and get all the influences that we have. We want to get them out. Yeah. And when we wrote this album, we were talking about this a lot, and like all of us, we don't really listen anymore to stereotypical symphonic metal, right? Because we listen to other stuff like Bring Me the Horizon, Architects, and all these other great bands. And then it just came out naturally, and we decided, hey, if the songs need symphonic elements, we will put them in, of course. But if they don't need it, there is no reason to put them in. Why overload a song with something that is not needed? And this felt right. This felt good. Also, it fits very well to the new theme. Like, it's more personal this time. It is not based on any historical characters. So it's a complete change in there, not only from the songwriting or from the songs themselves, but also lyrical, and also the artwork and everything is completely different. And so it is a statement. We are in a new era of Ad Infinitum now. Of course, we will still play a couple of old songs because we like them as well. But we also want to present the new stuff. Yes, and we want to present the new album, present the new stuff, present where we are at this given moment in time. It will be completely different next year or in 2 years. We will see when the next album comes, but this is where we are now, and we want to present this way.
It's a different musical language, but then the lyrics are also different, new concepts. You know, we had albums about, I think it was Louis XIV, we had Dracula, we had Cleopatra. And in those albums, there was a lot of use of metaphor to make people kind of still relate to the songs, and you could find your own meaning. Here it's a little bit, maybe it's easier to directly connect with songs. Is that also for you guys, as playing, even whether or not people in the band contributed to lyrics or not, does that help that the band is a little bit more taking the specific story out of it, and it's a little bit more, like you say, that personal level? Like, does it make it easier for you as well to connect and relate to the songs?
I think so, yes. The lyrics, they are mainly or 100% written by Melissa. She had this idea. She started it like, hey, let's make this completely different. Let's make it personal. And then the ideas kept on flowing. We were all like, hey, that's great, because we've given ourselves a boundary, where we want to be. And this enhances your creativity. And then it's like, hey, what about this? We have this idea, and there's this chorus line that you brought in. Maybe we can combine this with that. And then ideas start to come up. And also the way we songwrite, like we do songwriting, is we just book an Airbnb somewhere in the middle of nowhere with no distractions. And then we just sit together and listen to music, talk a lot. And then we just present ideas that maybe somebody has and brought, or we start completely from the scratch with just a mood. Hey, we want to go in this moody direction, and this helps a lot with this personal themes. So say, okay, this is like everybody can relate, and we hope that everybody in the audience can relate to this more personal stuff. And it just helps. It's like you say, it's way more closer to the human itself.
It wouldn't be the first time that a band says, like, well, we've been kind of following a certain, not necessarily stereotype, but blueprint maybe. And with album 4, we want to take a bit of a different direction. That's not necessarily new for a band to do, but usually we're talking about bands that have been doing this for 15, 20 years. This is your 4th album in 4.5 years. That's not like, that's like what bands did in the 60s. That's not normal today anymore by any means. Is it? We also know how busy then obviously Melissa, of all of you, and all of you are busy outside of this band, but Melissa may be a little bit more prominent with all of her guest stuff and what have you. I don't think there's a month without an album with Melissa on it that comes out. It's going fast. Is it at times going too fast to appreciate? I don't mean too fast like stop doing it, but are you all able to actually breathe and take a step back and go like, oh, wow, this happened. You know, like a lot of milestones have been checked off the box for you guys already in a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah, it's a lot, to be honest. Yeah, and sometimes it feels too much, but it feels natural. There's nobody forcing us to do anything. Like Napalm doesn't tell us to do, hey, you have to write a new album now, because nobody tells us to do this. Not management, not booking, nobody. This is purely intrinsic. Like it comes from ourselves.
Yeah.
So it feels good to do this. Of course, we talk a lot actually, between the four of us, if it is too much. If we should let the albums breathe a little bit more, maybe take a step back and just push it back a year, maybe 2 years. But then on the other side, we are so eager to present the ideas that we have. Like, man, we started songwriting for next album already.
Oh, of course. At this point, I expect it to be finished.
Yes, of course. Yeah. and the fourth album is not even out yet. So it's crazy. It feels very, very hectic sometimes, but that's just because a lot of things are happening. But the good thing in Ad Infinitum is that everyone contributes. It is not that one person has to do everything. It's just the four of us doing the workload, and we have an incredible team around us. So we have a very good management. We just signed to Doomstar Booking. We have a very good feeling about this, and also like the working relationship with Napalm is also very good. So we feel very comfortable, but it's a fast pace. It's a fast pace.
Yeah. And it's not going to slow down anytime soon, because you are going to be very tired by the time March, April comes around. Because now you're going on the tour with Camelot that you already mentioned. Yes. Early in the new year, you'll be touring with Elavidi and Infected Rain. And the cool thing about that is, and that's also probably one of the superpowers of Ad Infinitum, is that these are extremely different bands, and they tend to have different audiences as well. Even just looking at the package with Elavidi and Infected Rain, you guys are kind of like nice in the middle, if you will. You can be that between the two. But it shows you that you guys you can be quite diverse. Does that then mean also that, I know you want to make a statement with the new show and starting with a new song, what have you. Let's say that based on the entire album, you could say that on paper, the Infected Rain fan is going to be a more, clear target audience than the traditional Camelot fan. That might appreciate some of the older symphonic stuff as well. Like, are you holding yourselves back a little, even if the album will already be out when you play the Camelot shows? Are you going to kind of limit the newness a little bit to cater more to those specific symphonic metal fans? Or are you more like, no, we don't really care who's our audience, we are going to show the new us?
So. We discussed this earlier today, and have been like a week ago, about what songs are we going to play. The Camelot tour was planned like a good while ago. Where our strategy, where we were going musically, was not as clear. So it doesn't fit anymore that well to the new songs. We try to have a good balance, not to overwhelm the audience with too many new songs that they don't know. And also, people are demanding the old songs as well. So, and we want to play them as well. So we try to find a good balance. It will probably change with the Elavidi and Infected Rain tour. There will be more new songs, I guess. Also, in the past, last year, we opened for Arch Enemy.
Right.
We adapted there as well, because it's an Arch Enemy audience. They really don't care about ballads. So we try to show the heavier side of us.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. That's so much fun, just to be able to present the broadness of our songs, to be able to do that. That's just great. That's so much fun, and not to play the same songs over and over again for 10 years.
Oh yeah.
That would be boring.
like 2025 is going to be busy for you,
Yeah,
regardless.
there's a lot of. There might be stuff coming. Nothing is. There's some stuff.
Well, let's
announced. The Elevated tour is announced, but there's more that is in the planning.
Well, let's frame it this way, Korbinian. You guys played Prague Power, right?
We did, yes.
Yeah, you did. Sorry, I wasn't trying to bait you to say anything that you shouldn't say. But you did play Prague Power. And, us here in North America, we know how expensive these visas are. And we know how long they last for. So there's no way that you're not going to be able to convince me that there's not going to be North American shows coming soon.
Probably. Well, we want that. Like, for sure, we are planning this. We want to come back because we loved it in the US and Canada. It is an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, being able to have been done that last year. So we want to do this again before the visa runs out.
Exactly.
And we will do this before the visa runs out. And just watch on our socials.
Exactly.
Listening. Just watch our socials and we will announce it in time.
There you go. And you know what you can then just do? Like, you obviously need to make sure that you play some shows here in Canada as well, not just in the States. But you just then, in this beautiful country of ours, just book an Airbnb for a few days and you write a new album. It's that's the way to do it.
I would love it. To be honest, like being in Canada is like, I've been thinking about this a long time because I just love everything I see about Canada. I just love the attitude of the people there. We've just been there one day, effectively, earlier this year. And we want to do more. Like, it's such an incredible country from what I see and hear. So yeah, that would be lovely.
Loved and alive, but it falls down.
Yeah. Now, to maybe let's wrap up with a question about the future that, without pushing you into like areas where you feel uncomfortable for sharing stuff, but you probably can share a little bit more about this. This new album is, you already mentioned it, the start of a new trilogy. The previous 3 albums were, in a way, a trilogy. This is supposed to kick off a new trilogy, but we have a more, like you said before, like there's more humane themes, there's more emotional themes. How should we envision part 2 and 3 to complete this trilogy? How does the band think right now that these albums will be connected? Where in the previous cycle, if I'm playing devil's advocate, if the titles were different of the albums, and not every album would go specifically about a historical character, you could say, like, are they a true trilogy, or is it just more kind of like a band kind of in a certain stage of their evolution? Because there was already an evolution album to album anyway, yes. Right? So what should we think about when you guys say, like, this is the start of a new trilogy? What's coming in the future, without spoiling any secrets?
Yeah, sure. Well, this Abyss is now the more darker side, lyrically, thematically. From the video side, it's the more darker side of the human itself and the personality. And it's going to be an evolution again. The 5th one will then be not lighthearted, a little bit on the lighter side, like thematically, not musically.
Coming through the darkness in a way. Or...
Yes, exactly. And then like the 6th one will be
rebirth in a way.
Yes, something like this. Yeah, the path. I don't want to drop the names of the albums.
Of course.
We already decided on that, but I don't know if it's public or not.
It's not.
But the names, okay.
Don't.
Well, then, yeah. I will. So the names just give a clue what it is. It will. It dictates what the lyrics are about. Musically, it will evolve because we always evolve. We just continue on this quest. Now we consider ourselves a modern metal band now because we skipped the symphonic elements. So it will stay in that path, probably. And maybe changes because we change, but it will change. Yeah. It will most likely be in this, if nothing major happens. So this will be the direction. The artwork for the albums, the two next ones, will also be done by the same guy, Stefan Heidemann, who did now this fourth one, just to have continuity. Also, the videos will also done by Neil Kubicki.
Okay.
And it will be connected all in a big phrase, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it is more a trilogy than the first trilogy has been, because we learn to do it better every time we do it.
There you go. Better every time you do it. A great way to wrap up the conversation before I have to start cutting out secrets that you are spilling. Korbinian, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you,
Thank you so much.
shedding some light on what's in the past and what's coming. And we'll all keep our eyes open for all these show announcements, whether they're in North America, in South America, in Europe, in Asia. I think you're going to have an extremely busy year. So we'll see lots of those announcements, and then we can all count down to the album being here so that all the fans can listen to the whole thing. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and come to Canada soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, and looking forward to come to Canada.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.